Okay, we'll just do that for now.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, that Knockem Day Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy with those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully you'll get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy Murder Mystery Show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. You had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties, corporate events, restaurants, and more. Contact Knockem Dead Comedy for your event today.
Hi, everybody. It is Tuesday. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast, coming at you live on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. That is the name of the Facebook page. That is the name of the YouTube channel. But, of course, we're interacting with you guys on the YouTube channel. So please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the page and share that link everywhere. Copy and paste that link on all your social media platforms. And then get on your phone and call people and just tell them about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday Trivia. It's Tuesday, June
7th.
June 7th,
June
she says.
7th.
Very nice. And Aaron's here. We're going to get into Tuesday Trivia in a little bit.
What's going on with the TV there?
I don't know. I just checked it to make sure we're on.
Yeah.
So that's just us on there. So I think the comments will still work. I think.
You want me to do it off of my phone?
Yeah, comment. We'll comment. Oh, you want to do it off your phone? That's fine. Go ahead. I'll take it off. We are here at the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, where this weekend you will see the one and only Punky Johnson from Saturday Night Live. She will be here Friday and Saturday. In the Giggle Room this weekend here at Governor's in Levittown, Eric Haft and Mike Keegan on Friday. That is a great show. Our pals Eric Haft and Mike Keegan. Are you not even hearing anything I'm saying because you're concentrating on that up there?
No,
okay.
I got it all. I'm multitasking.
And then Saturday, some more friends are performing in the Giggle Room. Joe Curry and Harry Friedman. That'll be a cool show. So that's what's happening in the Giggle Room. At the Brokerage this weekend on Friday, you got Carrie Karavis, who it really almost doesn't get any better than that.
No.
With Bobby Bannon, Francesco Caputo, Mary Capone is hosting, and Dan LaRocco.
Oh, nice.
Our pal Dan LaRocco is on that show. Dan LaRocco, look at that. All those old folks are on that show, and then here comes little Dan LaRocco. That's what he should call himself, little Dan LaRocco.
Don't do that to him.
No. Because he's only 23. So he's
he's pretty little.
Yeah. And then, of course, you got McGuire's out in Bohemia with some great shows as well. Go to govs.com, check out their full schedule, and make your reservations to some great comedy shows. And then, when you're done doing that, head over to knockemdeadcomedy.com. Check out our full schedule of murder mysteries and game shows, comedic, audience interactive murder mysteries and game shows. We're performing this Friday in Hicksville at the Knights of Columbus. It's a show for, I believe it's the Republican Club of Jericho. We're doing a murder mystery, our mob-themed murder mystery. That's Friday. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com and check out our show dates. You'll see all the information is there, who to call, what you need to know to reserve, to make reservations.
I've never been to one of them. What's it like?
It's a blast. Audience interactive. So we, it's a scripted show because it's a murder mystery that you have to solve. So we have the script so that, so we can get the clues out and stuff, but we constantly go off the script. So if I want to react to something you did at your table, I'm going for it. I just bring it back so that we know where we left off. And there's music and dancing and games and prizes, and it's a comedy show. It's not like Don't Blink or You'll Miss Something.
Yeah,
It's
going to be a room full of Republicans, so I don't know if that's going to be
theater.
funnier or less funny.
It's dinner theater, so it's like, when you go to a wedding reception and there's like round tables of 10 all over, that's what it's like. So the actors walk in and out of they're not on a stage. They walk in and out and do their play, I guess.
Yeah.
You remember the days where, like, you could go to somebody's house or go to a party, go to any event, and political affiliation didn't even come up? You would talk baseball, you would talk about boobies, you would talk about whatever.
Because everyone loves boobies.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely
way more than baseball.
So, I would love to do a show for the Jericho Booby Club.
There we go.
Yeah.
But, because I know, I was almost hesitant to say the Republican Club of Jericho, because I know if you're not Republican, you probably won't go. But that's who the event is for.
So you don't have to actually know the people. Like, is it more fun with strangers or when you know the group? Or you've done a lot of these.
It's interesting. When it's a private group, like a birthday party at a house, let's say, I always ask them, okay, give me some personalized information, because that stuff, again, when you have a group of people that know each other, so they know what we're referring to, that's shock value.
Yep.
How did they know that? And they always laugh. It's got to be 50-50 with this, where they give me some info, and it works out beautifully, and they all laugh. But I'm telling you, it's 50-50, where they'll give me info, and we'll go out and say it, like, Aaron told me, to, be careful stepping on the third step, whatever I'm saying. And I just get
nothing.
I'm like, holy shit.
And then the one person who gave the information is like, it's like they're the only one who remembered it.
And if it continues to go that way throughout the whole show, towards the end, I'll finally call that person out. She gave me this info. You have a problem with anything I'm saying, you got to yell at her.
That's funny.
But the other side of that, where they just laugh hysterically that we brought up something, and if it's about like
corporate events, that's fun.
Yeah,
like office.
Yeah, talking about not like Aaron last week, who drinks more coffee than, or Aaron's going out for another cigarette break.
Right.
They're like, oh! So they love that stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
It's a good time. But you don't have to. It doesn't have to be group. It could be we perform here at Governor's and in a room of people that don't know each other, and they have an absolute blast.
That's
Yeah,
it.
by
Knockem
the end of
Dead
the-
comedy.
Knockem Dead Comedy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yep.
We did a sold out show in the Giggle Room. Wow, that's been 2 months already.
Yeah,
that was
it
April
was such
1st.
a great show. Like there were more screaming laughters coming from there than like on the main
Even the
stage.
comedians were walking over to see what was going on.
Yeah, it was such a great night.
That's really cool.
And then Mario Bosco, he tried to jump in to do a set. We're like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. He's like, "You want me to come in there?" No, Mario.
Mario's
Doing our own thing.
Are you familiar with Mario?
No,
by
no.
chance? Mario's
Oh, yeah.
he's like is he taller than you or no?
I feel like he's my height
Is
and
he your
half
height?
my weight.
He looks like, in fact, comedian Carrie Carabas made a video a few years ago, the Elf on the Shelf, but
She made
where
him
it came
do
to
the
life
elf.
and it was him. So picture the Elf on the Shelf. That's what this guy looks like. But and we bust his chops all the time, but he takes it in stride. He's a funny guy, but he's a hustler. He goes all over Long Island, all over the city. He travels parts of the country. He's always working somewhere, whether it's stand-up or being an extra on a TV show. Like, he's always hustling.
That's awesome.
So we tease him about it. We're like, oh, Mario's playing at the dumpsters tonight. But he really did. We were doing our murder mystery in there, and we're about 3/4 of the way through the show. So we look, and standing by the door, there's Mario. Like, Mario, you're not doing a set in here. Get out of here. So we've been telling everybody, all the comedian stuff, Mario even showed up there.
That's hilarious.
So did I finish my... I said please like and share the show. And then studio time.
Oh,
We're always pushing the studio time. If you'd like to do your own podcast, maybe on our platform, or maybe you just want to do it yourself. You want to record it. You need to record any kind of audio or video. We got you hooked up here, right here at Governor's Comedy Club podcast. We got monitors, we got microphones, we got lights, we got cameras, we got 4 phone lines, we got graphics, we have water and chairs, and the governor's name literally behind us right now. Yes, whether you want to do a podcast with us, you want to do it on your own, or you just need to record any type of video or audio, we got you covered. So get in touch with us through our Facebook page, Gov's Comedy Club Podcast is the name of the Facebook page, and we'll hook you up. We got competitive rates and good people, and we'll be all right. Jeff Boshi says good morning. Good morning, Jeff Boshi.
Hey, Jeff.
Thanks for tuning in today. So, yeah, it's Tuesday Trivia. We're going to get started on that soon.
Yeah, we're going to do it a little bit earlier because Aaron's got a skedaddle.
And I really want to be a part of this. I love trivia.
And
Aaron's
plus,
a
I think
smart man who...
Yeah, I think
kick ass.
Aaron's going to run, give Andy Placenos a run for his money.
Is this themed trivia or just general?
No,
Never.
it's just
Okay.
general, no rhyme, no reason to it. And Andy, who you met the last time you were here, another insanely smart guy. What would you say? He gets like 97% of the...
He gets
of
a
them?
lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he swears he's not Googling.
Okay.
Although I'm a
You don't believe him. I believe him.
You believe him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I go back and forth on it.
Because I've talked to him in person, and he gets the same things right.
Well, that's true.
Like, I'm like, Andy, I want to run this by you. He knows.
We had a problem with the lock on the door out here, the one that you just came in a couple weeks ago. Now, I put the key in, I'm like, and I'm done. Andy's like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And he's going really slow, and he's like listening. And then he pulls the lock out, and he goes, "Oh, okay. So this one was catching then, and this one wasn't catching, but this one." So and there were a couple of times I thought he actually had it, and then he's getting frustrated. You see him, he's really thinking hard. It was a little over an hour he spent. He didn't, and he never opened the door. So
I
of
just
course I'm
called the
like, I
locksmith.
got to the same. I got to the same finish line as you. But he was like, you were just like, and I said, okay, but you were more intricate about it, but you still didn't open the door.
But at the end, Sallie had to call someone.
Yes, that's right.
And so you weren't able to get in, like while he's cracking in, or you were inside already?
No. We were both outside. So I started the show on my phone because it was 11 o'clock. I started the show on my phone from outside. And then one of the owners, Larry, I went to the front, and I'm just doing live. I'm talking to everybody. So sure enough, Larry, one of the owners, he pulls up in his car. So I move the phone, and I'm, so you see me and you see his car behind me. He gets out. We wave to each other. Now he knew that the lock was messed up. He knew what was going on, but he just waves to me. I wave back. I turn back, and so I'm not even paying attention, but I should have been. He just walks right in and then closes the door behind him. That door's locked. So I'm like, son of a bitch,
What? I'm out
he
here.
didn't even let me in. So I continued to do the show. And then it was probably about 11, probably around this time, 11:15, where he finally, I guess he remembered, and he came and opened the back door. So I had to sign off from the phone. I said, all right, give me 15 minutes. I get all this set up. And luckily we have a loyal, I call them family. I don't like fans or, I don't know, family. So they all came back at 11:30 and continued the show with us. So, all right. So, and I have to ask every time you're here, because you're a hero, and I need to make sure everybody freaking hears about this. You are the inventor? Is that how do you, the developer?
Yeah.
How do you call it? What do you?
Officially, yeah. So I feel like inventor is like crazy, kind of wacky stuff. I
They
actually
think
make,
Ben Franklin with the flag.
yeah,
or
or
something.
like now we have to get a patent or whatever. Right? I just solve problems, and the
Yeah, but I'm talking about No More Robo.
That's what I'm saying. The biggest
Oh, okay.
problem that I can solve right now is, all those robocalls and text messages and kind of blowing up your phone. So, it's my I won a competition from the government about 8 years ago. Built it into a pretty big business. We're the leading robocall blocking solution out there. So if you've ever seen, and the carriers have done stuff too now. It says spam likely, scam likely, but we just launched our new product last week. So it's called No More Robo Max.
Oh.
It stops 100% of these calls while still allowing all of the calls get through. So we're pretty excited about that.
So if
And do you have to, like, how do you get it? It's just now part of everyone's phone? Or?
No, so for Nomorobo, you go to nomorobo.com, and then you can see. So on landlines, it's available for free. We're supported on all the major VoIP carriers around, and even here on Long Island, there's Fios and Optimum. We're on Cox and Comcast and Charter. And our mobile product is a download. Comes with a 2-week trial. Try it on out, see if you like it. And we have a basic version and our max version. So it's exciting.
And it's easy. So you just download it. That's all you have to do, right? So then the phone, the calls just stop.
That's exactly right. So when you get those unknown numbers or anything like that, all of those just get silenced. They come to us for analysis because there could be a lot of people like the sprinkler guy. Yeah.
No. So like, what if because
Were you just raising your hand?
This is a whole conversation. Yes. Young lady in the back. Yes.
You with the movies.
Yes, Miss Sallie, right? Yeah, exactly.
sometimes, and I only know this because of like hanging out with my sister the last few months. Usually, doctors when they call you back say unknown caller.
Yep.
So does it stop those?
Yeah, so that's the thing. And now it's gotten to the point where the unknown numbers that you need to answer. So basically, every unknown number, if it's not in your contacts, comes to our system. We do all of our analysis. Is it on our block list? Have we seen this? Do we have recording? Right? Is it obviously bad? If it is, we just dump it. We take a sample and we just say, hey, we blocked it. For the ones that are kind of suspect that we're not sure, we screen them. So it says, hey, may I ask who's calling and what do you want? And then you get a notification on your phone. So then that doctor, if it even says like, hey, this is
That's awesome.
Dr. Smith, and I'm calling about, or again, like I'm working with the sprinkler guy, right? When we were out for breakfast. So the sprinkler guy, I don't have that phone number. They called from a different number. Oh, cool, right? I was just able to just send it to voicemail. And now I'm able to hook up. They're coming tomorrow. So that's really where we are in this kind of like think about it like email spam also.
Yeah.
You still need to get good emails, and there's certain ones like the marketing ones, right, from the Gap or Old Navy or something. Is that something you want to get? So yeah, the key now is keeping those bad calls out and spam text messages too. Those are and letting the good ones through. And that's really our old version, our basic version was just about keeping the bad guys out. But we weren't able to be as aggressive because it would also keep out some of the good people. We can't be blocking good calls. So that's how we're doing it now. Yeah.
Life changer for you, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So this was my last company was acquired by Groupon before this company, and then was able to build it on up. And we're not one of those like Silicon Valley like startup kinds of things where it's like grow and spend money and raise a lot of money. Like just slow and steady, and we're profitable, and I get to just solve problems and then spend mornings talking about my stuff with you guys.
Nice.
So, that's what I do. Thank you.
Yeah, because that's what we're slow and steady. We're
We are
steadily
slow and
not
steady.
making
Maybe
anything.
we can all go a little faster. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I wouldn't mind if it was faster, but
little faster.
because again, it just things just burn out too quickly. Can't again.
So what were? All right, let me. I want to go back a little bit. Because we as kids were growing up, and then we go to college, like. But you don't hear a lot of like they all say, I want to be this. I'm going to go into that field. You don't really hear a lot of people say, well, I'm going to go into entrepreneurship.
Yep.
So how did that? Was that a choice, or did it something fall in
No,
your
I'm
lap?
just really
that
bad at everything else. Like
I hear ya.
me with a real job, it just So after college, I got my undergrad. I've always been into technology. I got my undergrad was in information technology, and then I got my MBA. And I thought, I'm going to go work for a big company. I worked for Symbol Technologies, if you remember that, years ago, right off the expressway. Yeah, I lasted 54 weeks. It was literally like I got vested in my 401k, and I was like, and here's my 2-week notice, and I'm out of here because I was. It didn't. I did a great job, and I was like working on a project with the CEO and everything. It just that I was miserable. And then I said, okay, well, I'm going to go carve my own path. And I started doing consulting, contract programming, and then I was able to kind of, pick up these different businesses. We had a medical software company. We had a travel company. Now there's No Morobo, so all those kinds of things. And I also teach entrepreneurship over at Hofstra. I'm the incubator coordinator there, so I'm helping people on this journey. Once again, like you guys are on with the comedy pieces, there's so much stuff that's the same in entrepreneurship as it is in performance and art and things like that.
But it's got to be, because I can tell from you. I've been around you enough, at least I think at this point, where you're the type that seems to be interested in anything.
Yep.
Which I admire very much, by the way. But a lot of people aren't like that. And then you also have the people who are. Who most people I think have that fear of the unknown, because there's no guarantee with entrepreneurship where you could go work at Symbol and work your 30 years and make your money, put your kids through education, pay for their weddings, have your medical benefits, and they're fine with that. Where there's no so did you have a fear like that, or again, did you not think about it? Things just kind of went a certain way. Like, Yeah.
So it's all about like risk, right? Like everybody thinks that entrepreneurship is very risky, but also everything is like waking up in the morning is risky.
Right.
So what I've always learned and been taught is like, how do you de-risk all of those things? So right. So many people come to me like, oh, I'm going to quit my job and write a book or something, or again, become a professional comedian or whatever. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about a risk.
that risk is right. Like, cause you just don't know if it's going to work or anything. What are the smaller, now again, the first question you'd say is what's the worst thing that happens?
Right.
So, right, if you're living at home, if you're younger in your career, you don't have a wife, don't have kids, don't have a spouse, anything like that.
That's the time.
You've mitigated that risk by
Right.
that's why I think entrepreneurship and young people historically, because they can take more risks. I still don't think it's like you don't necessarily throw caution to the wind, but like you de-risk each piece. So in my case, they call it like an MVP, a minimum viable product. If you have an idea, I have a great idea for an app, for a business or whatever. Before you start putting together the business plan of like, okay, I'm going to get that office down there and do people want this, right? Even with you guys with your the dinner theater, right? Like, do you know if anybody's going to want this product? How do you test it?
Right.
Like, how do you put it on out there, and then do you get that reaction? If you did it and nobody came, if nobody needed robocall blocking or any of the other things, that would mean that's an indicator. Like, stick with where you are. So it's really all about just mitigating that. I don't think entrepreneurs are anything anymore. Like, I guess there are a lot of risk-taking entrepreneurs, but I don't think that that's very smart. I really think and that's just life, is managing risk and making sure that you have some sort of traction or something that's going. So with Noma Robo, I won the competition. So it was just kind of a whim. It was a $50,000 prize. I put up a landing page, so it got a lot of press, and people were going to nomarobo.com, which I guess is still there now, obviously.
Yeah.
But I had a little part on there where it said, we'll be launching in a couple of months. I didn't even know when we were going to launch, but put in your email address and we'll let you know when we launch. Okay, so every day, I wasn't getting paid people, but there was traffic that was going there and people were signing up. And I know it's like, anybody will give you your email, but
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
oh, I'm interested in it. Right. That was
Right,
like an analog
right.
for that. So by the time I launched, I had like 30,000 email addresses of people like, I need this product. That was the part that de-risked it. Right. So again, I was
Right.
doing consulting and kind of between startups. My last one was acquired by Groupon. And so at that point, it's like, okay, if I've set this whole thing up and I got 0 emails along with all this publicity and everything, maybe I should go and look at something else. And then for, again, the past 8 years and even our new product is hearing what customers want and how the market is changing and de-risking that. Yeah, we spent a year of development on this, which is not, there's a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort. So I'm not going to build something that I don't think that people want. So
Do you think that the risk is less now because there's not as many jobs with benefits and people aren't. I don't think people are looking. It seems to be more of a like contract work. It doesn't seem to be. People aren't thinking about the 30-year plan anymore.
the gig economy almost has
Yeah.
changed things. Yeah, and now that there's remote work and everything. People.
Right.
So I've been remotely working for 20 years. For 20 years, well, let's say 18 or 17 years, people are like, "Where's your office? We don't have one." But how do you get anything done? Like, because I'm an adult, right? I can work from home. Then a pandemic comes in, and as it turns out,
Everyone's doing it now.
yeah, most people are adults.
20 years ago, everyone was thinking 30 years. But,
Right, yeah.
But really,
They're not
I really
anymore.
think it was like at the 20-year mark. Because I remember I was working for Marriott at the time. And I had a friend, a coworker. He was a manager, too, for Marriott. And I wanted to leave Marriott. And I love Marriott, but I wanted to, have kids. And I couldn't see working 80 hours a week. So I wanted to, find something. So I opened this latte bar. I figured everyone loves coffee. I make a great latte. I could totally do this. And then as I had kids, I could hire kids to do it for me. So it seemed like a perfect business plan for me. And he was like, "You're going to be like a vendor? You're going to leave Marriott to what about the pension?" And he was a really good manager too. But I was like, and I remember saying this to him, I was like, "But you believe in Marriott, but I believe in me." And I left, and 3 years later, his job got downsized because they just made someone else restaurant manager, front office manager ahead over both, and he lost his job. And I'm not like, yay me. I felt really bad for him, but I was like, I knew at the time, it's not going to be that 30-year thing anymore. I saw it in a really big corporation like Marriott, where they were like, if I have 5 people, how can I make 2 people do 5 people's work? And right at that point, that's when all the 30-year plans went out the window.
I love that line. I believe in me. That's exactly.
believe in me.
That's really cool. And that's what my dad always said is like, if you're an entrepreneur or you're a freelancer and then you have clients, right? You might have 10, 20 clients. Like you have 10 or 20 bosses. If one of them doesn't like you, okay.
Yeah.
You get a new one, right? If you're working at Marriott and you have one boss and for whatever reason, right, the economy changes or something changes, they, step in dog shit that morning and like, you're out of here. You're putting your entire piece on one person. So I actually think
risk management.
If you do it right, if you de-risk and like kind of handle all those, and they call it like runway, right? If you have, 50 cents and you need to be able to stretch that out for 6 months or something, that's a little bit tougher. But if you can go and pull those kinds of things, I think it's a lot less risky than just having a boss, and it's way more difficult. I think that it is, it's more difficult mentally to be able to, because again, you're also going against, and your family is going to be pushing back, and the reason that they are because they want to protect you and help you. Like, are you sure about that and whatever? But it's that
they don't want you moving into their basement.
That's well, you haven't met my mom. She would love if I moved back home. Yeah.
But
I think healthcare keeps people from not going into their own stuff because they're just so afraid of not having.
Which is why I asked that question, because jobs aren't offering that.
People will live at a KOA in a tent, but not to be able to go get a physical for your kid is a really big deal.
Yeah.
Although since COVID, it seems like they're starting to offer these things again because they're having such a hard time finding employees that they're now offering incentives such as health benefits to get people in.
I never understood why retirement, like pensions, and again, like should be tied to a job, other than to keep you working in a job. And healthcare. Why is your boss, your employer, responsible for how that goes? It just doesn't make any sense.
And it holds the country back. It holds the country back from a bunch of brilliant people that have great ideas and like, I can't not have healthcare.
That's the number one thing.
Let me just go back. Let me just get on the train and be on a train for 2 hours a day and they have all these ideas and they can't use them because of healthcare. Yeah. And so it's as a whole, it holds our country back.
I think that if you take the healthcare risk away, I think so many more people would be like, if you like, so many people are like, oh, I need the benefits, especially if you're in, like, if you have some health or your family has health, or if you have kids, you're just not going to take that risk no matter how much you believe in it. Whereas say what you want about, if there was, when I was freelancing, like every single year I was getting different health insurance, LIA, HIA, freelance, because that just wasn't a thing. Now that there are exchanges, it's not cheap, but you can put it, okay, it's going to cost $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month. Okay. $25,000. Now I have health insurance. What do I need to cover to get that? But I agree. I think that's holding back entrepreneurship. Again, 401k. Why can't you just do your own retirement planning? Same deal, like a pension or whatever. Like just drop it in and do your thing. If it was those two things, I think that's the thing that keeps.
Well, I think the problem is that if you take those things away, like they pretty much have done, but it's not. They don't make They don't make up for that in your and your pay. So. I should be compensated if you're not offering that anymore. I should be compensated more so I can afford to go get those things on my own.
I think that work should pay you in cash. Right?
Yeah,
true. I'll take cash
in
and
Bitcoin.
I will allocate.
Or Venmo you.
Right, exactly. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school, but like I like to do work and get money. Right, like I know. Look, and I think the world is changing also. But like everybody's always like, all the companies are like, oh, and they give us dinner every night. It's not because that they're nice. It's not because they want to, like, it's that you stay later. Because if you're just like, well, and then what are you giving up? Yeah, having dinner at the office versus having dinner at home.
With your wife and kids, right? Exactly.
Which I actually think maybe that's why the pendulum swung the other way. Like people with pets and they like, I got to get home for my cat. Like that just becomes the excuse of like, I got to get out of this. So the business is like, no, stay for dinner. You're like, I got to get, and everybody's just locked in this standoff that's stupid on both sides.
I'll stay for dinner if I don't have to be in until noon.
No. You have got to get in early. You got to stay late. And
Right.
again, maybe we're getting on the but like Elon Musk sent an email around to everybody at Tesla and SpaceX. Like he demands you are in the office a minimum of 40 hours a week, no remote work. But in the email, it was like you're in the office minimum, and that was like. So even if you do work remotely, then it's 40 hours in the office and 40 hours outside.
Right.
So if you are making $100,000, go with me here, right? Mm-hmm. So there's two people. Somebody's making $100,000 working 80 hours for Tesla, and there's another person that's making like, I don't know, $60,000 working 40 hours, whatever. Who is making more money? I think the person making $60,000, because now they have all of that time.
They could do other things.
Can you start your own business? Can you hang out with your friends?
They're happier, which really that was lost for a while too. Lost sight of that.
And a
what
lot of
you're
people
happy
get
you're
a
doing.
lot more work done at home than they do in the office.
I think the pandemic really showed that.
Yes.
It's shined a light because everybody's like, no, we can't have it. And again, the boss looking over, and it's going to go back that way. It's obvious it's going to happen. But
Yes.
there's
You're going to do what you're going to do. It doesn't matter whether there's a boss around.
oddly a lot more. There were obviously a lot of negative things, but people were with that like work life kind of thing. I think during the pandemic, everybody's like, hey, this is kind of cool. As long as you like the people that you were with. That's also might
Right.
be why like half the people that I know are getting divorced. Right? Like if you're locked together with somebody and you don't murder them, you consider that a
Never
win.
been home so much. I hate you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I didn't
I
realize.
never
just realized
realized
that.
how much. No, I'm not kidding. Like,
Yeah, right. It's just- yeah, I'm not even joking here. Just I
I'm going to go out and get 3 jobs.
Right.
So I
I
don't
just
have to
realized
see your
you're a
face.
dick.
Yeah, that was one of my friends. He felt bad for like adulterers during the pandemic. Like, what if you
Yeah,
can't
what are
go
you
out
gonna
with your
do?
secretary?
Right.
You don't have that excuse anymore, right? I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
No more business trips. You gotta just like,
Yeah.
oh no, what's gonna happen?
Feel bad for the adult.
It was. When you put it that way, what did they do?
Honey, I don't come into my home office. Yet. Don't come in for the next 2 hours.
Right.
I'm gonna lock the door. If you hear any strange noises, just ignore
Windows
it.
opening. Don't worry about
I don't think
it.
it has the same effect, right? As a business trip. I don't know.
You sit there with the secretary on Zoom, just look at her.
Right, exactly, just like that. Again, just weird, right? It's really weird.
I didn't think about of all the things considered during the pandemic. I never thought about the
The
poor
poor
adulterer.
adulterers.
How many of those relationships broke up?
Yeah.
They've had to find somebody else to cheat with.
Yeah, maybe that was the whole thing, right? It was
Yeah.
the cheating part. Now you're cheating on your cheating.
Or you wanted to get divorced, and then like you're the person you live with lost their job, and now you can't get divorced because now like the income's different. You're like, crap, I'm stuck with them for like another
Yeah.
few years
Right.
until they get a job. So like,
like
I
that-
divorce them and get that income.
Right, but again, like going back to like leaving your job, like
Yeah.
you can have the worst job. You're like, yeah, but I get health insurance. It's right. It's like a bad relationship. Like
Yeah.
my CDs are in his car. Like the
Right,
thing could
right.
bit. Like I can't leave because of whatever. And you just another 5 years in
Yeah,
the toilet
another
of you
5
hating
years.
your life, right?
And going back to Elon Musk with that demand, I bet you he sent that email from his house.
Yeah.
That's probably and even in it
From
was
his
like except for
private
people that
jet.
are at that. But and again, I'll give
From
him
his spaceship.
credit. Yeah, exactly right. It's another thing like putting a million people on Mars. Like again, why? I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, that's cool.
No, it's
Why?
not.
We don't even
It's
want to
not
leave
cool.
Long Island.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to
right?
go to Mars.
Stay put. Enjoy where you are.
And put the money towards something useful.
Right. I just don't get it. I don't.
I mean, if
understand.
he wants to go there with certain people that were better off without, okay.
Mazel tov. Enjoy yourself. I
Right.
see this again. I see a lot of people. I obviously run with entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, and everybody's like starting up like an Amazon store. And I've seen this again like over the last couple of years. You know how much everybody's Amazon, whatever. It's great. I don't have to go through Best Buy or Walmart or anything. Well, meet the new boss. Same as the old boss, right? Instead of giving money to Best Buy, you're buying Jeff Bezos a new spaceship because again,
That's right.
like, you go and work that out. Yeah. Now, it used to be, you make something for $1. And you sell it for $10 or whatever, and you pocket the difference. Nope, right? You make it for $1. How much does it cost to sell that? Oh, you got to get it to Jeff Bezos' warehouse. That's $3.
Right.
Oh, then Jeff Bezos is going to charge you for advertising. Oh, that's another $6. Oh, he's going to keep charge you every month that it's there. Oh yeah, and then he's going to charge you when you ship it on out. All of a sudden, it's like $18.
Yeah.
At best, you sell it for $20. You take $2. So the guy that
Right.
made $1, you'd make $2, and Jeff Bezos made $18.
Right.
Great for Jeff Bezos. If you want to make Jeff Bezos even more wealthy,
Right.
enjoy yourself. It's just that game. But people, and I saw this with one of my buddies. He went through this whole thing through Christmas, and he was blah 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 blah. And I looked at his numbers, and I did a quick calculation. I'm like, buddy, it looks like you lost like $6.50 on every unit you sold.
Wow.
And he was like, that doesn't sound right. I'm like, it would have been better if you didn't get out of bed, do anything. Like literally, you would have made more money if you didn't do anything. He's like, yeah, but look how many
That's
sales we
sad.
had.
You told the guy he's useless.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, nobody wants to hear it, and I didn't put it in that way, but I was like, maybe you could do this a little bit. And then when he looked at it, right, that's I don't think that's a good way of doing
And
things.
you must get a lot of that, when they're first starting college and taking, they must kind of like the comedy class. We were talking about it before we went on air this morning. Because that's how we met, was through John Truson's comedy class. And I made the joke about how many guys were doing porn jokes and dick jokes, because that's what they come in with. They're we're just not ready to take on anything smart. But it must be the same when they're starting your class, because like you must see this a lot of the same ideas over and over. And you're like, oh fuck, another kid with the Amazon idea.
That's exactly. And again, nowadays with all the .com was everybody had any idea. Again, a bookstore going online and whatever. And that's it.
Right.
Now that we've gotten past it, and then it was like that whole app thing. I'm gonna make when smartphones were coming out, an app for this and an app for that and whatever. And like why? Now again, it's cryptocurrency, blockchain, that stuff. Like, yeah, I'm sure that there's some that why, but the question is, what is the problem you are solving? And even like with Sallie's coffee shop, I use an example like that. There's so many people like you that are sitting around at a coffee shop saying, I love hanging out here and I'm going to start a business. But like, what about permits and what about finding the employees and the joy of the business has to go to the end user, right? The customer. So in my case, right, like blocking those robocalls goes to my users. The joy of running that business has to come to me. You just have to understand that, like, and again, even with comedy, right? It's, you might like a joke. If the audience doesn't like it, like, I don't care how much you like it. Like, I mean, I guess you can. Nobody's stopping you from it. I forget who we were talking about when we were in the class too. It was like the choice if you're going to be like dirty or clean. That like, if you're clean, you just have double the opportunities. There are a lot of people that want. So like, you can do whatever you want, right? Like, go up and be as filthy as you want. That's cool. And that might work for a certain group, and it's no judgment. If you are looking to like have double the amount of opportunity, though, maybe have the other way. I don't know, right? Those are the pieces. So again, even on a business side, if you're solving a real problem and you can kind of de-risk it, and that's exactly the parts that I think is interesting. But again, it's anything. A musician, right? I want to be I want to be especially with younger people. I want to be in the NBA. Probably not going to be, right? Is that necessarily a bad thing? If you're playing on a team, if you're learning those kinds of things, yeah. But like, if your goal is to be in the NBA, you know, I don't know if that's a great goal here. So But if your goal is to get to Mars, yeah, you're Elon Musk. And I hear this all the time. Oh, but you know, Jeff Bezos started like this. Yeah, well, you're not Jeff Bezos. I always start with this too. I'm like, because everybody, I need this and this. I'm like, okay, how much is that going to cost? Probably $100,000. Do you have that? No. Do you have a rich uncle? No. How are you going to get that? That's what I'm asking you for. I don't know how you're going to get that, right? And this is the thing. If you can't get that, you can't. That's a bad plan, right? If the plan involves getting $100,000 and you can't get that, that's a bad plan.
Right.
So, and again, I'm not saying your idea. I refuse to tell anybody if their idea is a good or bad idea. I know it. Is it a good or bad comedian?
Sure. Right.
I don't know. We see people get laughs that are terrible comedians. Mm-hmm. We see great jokes that don't get a laugh at all. What is it? I don't know. But like, those are the pieces that I'm always looking at with those pieces.
There's an interesting. We mentioned to you when we were talking earlier that we just watched the last Norm Macdonald special.
Which is him just in front of a computer, like
he zoomed it.
He just zoomed it
because
just him alone in his office.
What did they say in the beginning, that this was the day before one of his surgeries? Because he was sick for the last 9 years of his life.
He called his producer and said, "I need to do this now," because he knew that.
So that's what he did. He got in front of his computer and just had a microphone, and he just did it. And this, what they've released is the whole thing uncut. It's just exactly what he recorded. You see his cell phone rings at one point. At one point, his dog starts barking, so he just stops and waits, and then he continues. And then when it's over, it's maybe 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's David Letterman, Molly Shannon,
Dave Chappelle,
Conan O'Brien, Adam Sandler, and David Spade sitting together. They had just finished watching it
together,
and now they're talking about it. But even if you're not a Norm Macdonald fan, it's still an interesting conversation if you're a comedy fan, just to see these, hilarious people talking together about Norm and about comedy in general. But they said that about Norm, that he seemed to thrive on the material of his that didn't get a reaction, just to see how he would handle it.
Yep.
And he seemed to enjoy that challenge.
Like, if he thought it was funny, that was really
all he needed.
Really all he, and he would find amusement in the laughter, and he would find equal amusement in the blank faces. He just loved the joke.
Right.
And he'd be like, "Oh no, I'm doing the joke."
And here's
so it's just funny.
Yeah.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but we're not going to be able to do this with Aaron if we don't start trivia.
All right, I'm just going to read Andy's comment. Thanks. Yeah, hello, Joan Asher. Andy Pagano says, we talked about dirty versus clean last night at an open mic. At the end In the end, just treat it like an art. If you want it to be all about the business end, being clean is a good idea.
So you even say like art, right? This is art versus business, and those two things are again like the entrepreneurs are in business to make money ostensibly, right? So you can even do it; it's a labor of love and those kinds of things. But right, the art of comedy or the art of acting or something, I actually think is that's really fantastic. If that's what you are looking for, right? If you're looking to have a job, if you're looking to get more kind of opportunity, and again, there's no right or wrong answers.
Well, that's a good point, right?
This is even what we were talking about, like those mentors and those people that you're following in there. A lot of people didn't like Norm Macdonald or who was it? There was one, I forget who it was, but he came in to our class and was it John Mulaney? No, he didn't come in, but there was somebody who was talking about him and he hated him. He's like, oh yeah, my parents watch him. I think he's hilarious. And he's like, I hate him. And all the rest of us were like, actually, I think he's pretty funny. Like, I'm walking through the halls over here, right? I'm looking at a picture of Gilbert Gottfried. Then around the corner, there is a signed picture of Norm Macdonald, right? Like, is everybody for everybody? No, but that art of there, and if you can go and harness that, and again, if you think it's funny and you can make it happen, I think that's incredible. So,
absolutely.
Cool. Anyway, I mean, look, I can talk about this stuff all day.
Yeah, this is cool. I love this stuff, too. But yeah, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. We hold in our hands this week's Tuesday Trivia. The way this works, Sallie and I take turns asking questions. We do not know each other's questions or the answers. We're going to try and stump each other. We're going to try and stump Aaron. We're going to try and stump you guys. Please, in the comments next to us or below us, wherever your comments are, please comment with your answer. We're going to take turns. We do not give the answers. We're just going to ask all the questions. We're going to find out what each other's answers are, find out your answers are, and then when we're done, then we go back, ask the questions again. We share over your answers, go over each other's answers, and then give out the correct answer. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no prize. There's no nothing. It's just giving us an opportunity to make fun of you and how smart we're not. Except for Aaron and Andy. Those guys are smart, so they're going to get them right.
But you're still going to make fun of us.
Oh, of course. We'll find something.
Just making sure.
With that, question number one, Sallie O'Neill.
What year did the first Apple iPhone come out?
Good question, Sallie O'Neill.
Okay.
And it's also kind of weird if you think about it. Like, I don't know how many were sold, but who would you even talk to? Because no one has it. Like, we all have it now. It must be like a weird first year. And I also found out that it was $500 a phone.
I'm going to say 1993.
For the first iPhone? Okay.
Yeah, not... Yeah.
It was probably this big, and one
Are we
person in
talking
the
cell
world
phones
had
or the
it.
actual Apple iPhone?
The Apple
The actual iPhone.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, not because, like, you're thinking of cellular phones.
True, but screw it. I'm sticking with my answer.
Stick with your answer. That's
What do you got?
Okay, I think it was 2007. Somewhere around there. I know Steve Jobs passed away in 2011.
He's been gone that long?
Crazy, I know.
Holy
it was the summer. It was right around this time. It was like July. It was right July of basically 11 years ago. Yeah, crazy. But that's roughly. I think I'm off by a year or two. But and if I'm or the first one, and that was like the 3. That was it. The 3 or the 3G or something came out. I remember it was just on AT&T, and there was that guy. Remember, people would wait in line for the first. Like
one guy got the first one.
Do you know that guy lives on Long Island?
He waited 4 days.
The guy who bought the very first
so
iPhone?
That guy, I hope his guy's name is Doug Packer. He lives in
Huntington. It is. Yeah. That was another. He's right.
You should get him on. He's crazy. He's a crazy guy. I see him all the time on Long Island. I went to the Chick-fil-A opening in Port Jeff Station, and he was there. And I was like, dude, you're like a celeb. I know who you are. Like he was the man on the street. He got interviewed so many times because that was his thing. He just went there. That finally produced like, don't ask him any question. But he was like the man on the street. He was the first guy that got the iPhone. The first guy at a Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
I saw him at the Boardy Barn once. I ran into him like, you gotta take a picture with this guy. He's such like a stupid local celebrity.
That's really funny. That's really funny. Oh, what'd you have to do? Cut your feet up there so you could look at your questions?
Because I'm looking at my questions.
See, that's why I print mine out. See that?
I'm saving trees.
So you know the answer though. So this
yes,
question.
We have the answers to the questions that we ask. Right. Oh, so it's me now. Okay. As usual, I don't know how to pronounce this. Orthoepy. Orthhoepy. Orthoepy. Orthoepy.
Wow. How do you spell it again?
Ortho. ORTHOEPY.
Okay.
Is the study of what? In multiple choice. Is it orthotics, word pronunciation, or computer hardware?
Orthotics, what?
Orthopy. I have no idea how to pronounce this word.
What are the other two choices?
The choices are orthotics, word pronunciation, or computer hardware.
Obviously, word pronunciation.
Yeah, I'm going with the same thing, seeing how
baby,
difficult
were
it
you
is.
giving me a big hint?
Why would you make that name like there's something called when people have names that are indicative of their like professions or things like an optometrist that's like Irving Glass, like
Right.
Eyeglass. Like there's a term for when your name is
Right.
like I'm going I think that's a hard word to pronounce. Like why is abbreviated such a long word, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what's the
great.
last choice?
The last choice was computer hardware.
Yeah, I'm
So
going
orthotics, word pronunciation, or
I'm going
computer
to go
hardware.
with word pronunciation.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Okay, so put in order of age from the youngest guy to the oldest guy. Celebrities.
Okay.
Who's youngest? Who's the oldest? It's going to be 4 people: George Clooney, John Travolta, Tom Hanks, Pierce Brosnan. George Clooney, John Travolta, Tom Hanks, Pierce Brosnan.
Clooney, Hanks, Brosnan, who else? Oh, Travolta.
Brosnan, Travolta, Hanks, Clooney. Who's the youngest? Who's the oldest?
I'm going Clooney, Travolta, Hanks, Brosnan. That's what
From
I'm
youngest, right?
going. From youngest to oldest, yeah. George Clooney, then John Travolta, then Tom Hanks, then Pierce Brosnan.
Okay. So I love George Clooney. I want to be like him when I grow up. So I'm going to go, I think he's going to be the youngest because
Yep.
I think that Tom Hanks also seems pretty young. And then I'm torn with Travolta or Pierce Brosnan. I'm going to go with Travolta and Brosnan.
Okay.
So you basically did the same thing.
Was that
No. We switched Travolta and Hanks.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm sticking... Well,
So yours is Clooney.
Clooney, Travolta, Hanks, Brosnan. Aaron's is Clooney, Hanks, Travolta, Brosnan.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah. I have it written down.
Thank you.
All right. This extremely funny lady had her own 1990 sitcom originally titled These Friends of Mine. Who is it? If I read the rest of it, it gives it away. She changed the name. So she had her sitcom started in the 90s. It was originally called These Friends of Mine, and then the sitcom changed its title to something else. It actually changed to this comedian's name. See, I'm already giving away too much.
In the 90s?
Yes.
A
It was
funny
a
lady.
sitcom.
Yep. All right. I'll read the rest. It's going to give it away.
Good, because I don't know.
Her announcement in April of 1997 that she's gay caused the ratings to go through the roof, and they changed the name of the sitcom.
Alan, yeah, that's yeah.
I told you it would change the
That
whole
was
thing.
Friends
so
of
controversial,
mine?
right? Yeah.
Oh, remember how crazy that
yeah,
was?
yeah, like people
Well,
were boycotting.
poor Dern. What's her first name? Laura Dern,
Dern?
who played her love
Oh yeah, they
interest.
kissed on the show. That was my
But
favorite
here's
episode.
what happened, and she came. It was kind of weird. She came back on the show 10 years later to be not on the Ellen show, but on the Ellen talk show. And so they were just talking, and Ellen finds out because she asked a couple of questions that Laura did not want to answer, like what happened afterwards, and it turns out that like she got totally blacklisted. She was just an actress, not gay,
But that whole thing.
was hired for the role. Thought it'd be great, fun to do like a sitcom because she's she does movies
Yeah.
and stuff. And for 10 years, she didn't get anything. And it always came back to her agent kept saying it always came back to that she did that. And she's
See,
like,
I'd want
"Are
to
you
hire her
kidding
more
me?"
because I would
the
just
time,
write in
yeah, who-
another kissing girl
Yeah.
scene.
There we go. Right. Exactly.
And she didn't want to
Laura
hurt
Dern.
Ellen's feelings. And she didn't want Ellen to know because she's like, I would have done it again anyway, even if I knew, because that's shitty.
So
and even though
crazy.
it happened to me,
Yeah. Wow.
but Ellen was like I just want to give you like $5 million right now to like make up for that because, isn't that crazy that
That is.
people can be like that? Like it was so different back then, and now we're like, why are you like this to people?
All right, next question.
Oh. Got a baseball question here
Nice.
Okay, let's see what we got. I am not going to get this
that
one.
I know nothing about. Don't even know the people. Don't even know the team.
Yeah, John Travolta.
Why was the New York Yankees pitcher David Winfield? Do you know who that is?
Dave Winfield was not a pitcher.
David Winfield from the New York Yankees wasn't a pitcher. I just
No.
copied and pasted
All right,
it.
read the whole thing.
Why was he arrested on April 4th, 1983? If you don't know, I have multiple choice.
So you're asking why Dave Winfield was arrested
Yeah.
in 1983? All right, yeah, he wasn't a pitcher, so I hope you're not confusing him with somebody else. But
I just copied and pasted the
okay,
question.
all right.
Arrested in '83.
Why was
Other than
yeah,
the word baseball, I don't, or the year 1983, I don't know anything about this question.
Yeah.
So I didn't make it up.
All right, well,
Because
read-
I do that. Sometimes I'll make up questions.
read the choices?
Was he arrested for stealing a hot dog from a concession stand? This is 1983. Was he arrested for sneaking into a Toronto Blue Jay game? Was he arrested for hitting a seagull with a baseball?
Okay, I think it's the sneaking into the baseball stadium because I don't think you would. Would you go to jail for stealing a hot dog? It's like Les Mis, isn't it? Like we saw what happened to Jean Valjean, but I know. And a seagull. Yeah, now I'm going with the sneaking in.
I'm going with the seagull.
Okay.
Because I do think, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe Dave Winfield, he was an outfielder. But I do believe he was throwing the ball into the infield at one time, and it hit a bird, I think. There was a pitcher, Randy Johnson, who was pitching one time, just as a bird was coming through, and his pitch hit the bird and, killed the thing on the spot. But I think that happened to Winfield, too, and maybe he got arrested for it. I don't know. All right. All right. When this person appeared on a 2001 episode of Inside the Actor's Studio, he made one audience member laugh so hard that they developed a hernia and had to be taken away in an ambulance at the end of the show. Who was the person appearing on the show?
What year?
2001. In 2001, this person appeared on
Robin Williams.
on an episode of Inside the Actor's Studio. He made one audience member laugh so hard that person developed a hernia and had to be taken away in an ambulance at the end of the show. You're saying it was Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who was on that show. George
Lots of people.
Carlin.
Well, lots of people are on
Was
it.
he?
Inside the
When
Actors
did he
Studio?
die?
Yeah. I think he was still alive in 2001. George Carlin.
Yeah, like Rich Pryor was pretty popular then, but I don't know if they would have been on Inside the Actors. So it has to be. Someone's stumping us.
I stump people all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll lock in Richard Pryor. That's the best
All
guess I
right.
got.
Okay. Next
All right.
question.
Where were the Utah Jazz originally located? The team moved. Where were they originally located?
I think it's New Orleans because of the Jazz. I think that's
Yep.
where it came from.
We're both. I'm going with that too.
Cool. It's like the Islanders, right here, Strong
right.
Island. Yeah.
It's where they belong. All right. All right. Here's a long question. I may have to repeat it. Midway through the third season of Chappelle's show, Dave Chappelle went missing. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It was later discovered he'd gone to South Africa to hide out from press coverage. A man who was temping as an assistant for the head of development at Comedy Central got the call that Chappelle had disappeared. This man who got the call, this guy who was temping there, he went and told executives who brushed this guy off because Chappelle was always late to taping, so they didn't think anything of it. But this temp stressed that this time was different, so they almost flew this man out to Los Angeles so he can collect the physical tapes of the third season of Chappelle's show so that it couldn't be destroyed. Name this temp.
So the temp would have worked with Dave Chappelle? Is that the...
He worked for Comedy Central.
Okay.
He was temping at Comedy Central. And he was an assistant to the head of development at Comedy Central. Phone rings. Hi, temp here.
And we all know him.
Yes. In fact, not only do we know him,
Jon Stewart.
but he's already been mentioned. He's already mentioned today. I forget. Honestly, I'm not sure if we were on the air or not. But at some point we were talking. I think we were on the air already when we were talking, and this man was already mentioned. He was temping at the time, and he got the call, and they almost sent him out to L.A. to get the tapes for the third season, so they wouldn't be destroyed.
Wow.
Yep. Hard question, long question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about him.
Is it George Clooney, John Travolta, Tom Hanks, or Pierce Brosnan?
Hanks, definitely Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Is it David Winfield?
The only person I could think of that we've been talking about is John Mulaney. I'm just gonna go with that kind of out of the blue. I feel like he would have been temping there.
Hurry up, we're running out of time.
Okay, I'm going with John Mulaney too.
Okay, good.
Nobody can hear you when you whisper. Don't worry, it's just between us.
How old was the youngest American serviceman in World War II? The youngest American serviceman in World War II.
Were they allowed to go to war younger than 18
everybody
back
lied
then?
about their age then.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who lied the most? Who was the youngest guy officially in the war when they found out the war was over?
Wasn't there like some 14-year-old kid? We need to come
yeah,
up
like
with his name.
pick an age.
An
Just
age?
pick an age.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm going
tell
with-
you the name and the story. but
I thought it
just
was 14.
pick an age.
Something crazy. but
I'll go
yeah.
with 13.
Oh, okay.
And it was definitely that they lied and said they were 18. So it's not going to be a 2-year-old.
Right.
Obviously. Yeah. No, because you're wearing a diaper.
Yeah, right. I think we know. Right? Can I
So
see your
we
ID?
know.
All right. And what year was the first in-flight movie shown on an international flight in the U.S.? Was it 1929, 1949, 1969? What year was the first in-flight movie shown on an international flight in the U.S.? 1929, 49, 69.
Was there international flights in 29? I
I
feel
would
like no matter
say
what, people were
69.
smoking on planes in 29, right? That was like
Right.
a thing. And 49. And an international movie, 1969 feels late. Yeah, let's go with 49.
All right.
Does that mean we're out of time?
Nah, it's Sam asking me a weird question.
Yeah, he can wait. It's your last one.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
What female animal only gets excited sexually for a 24 to 72 hour window?
Like in their life?
Yeah. It only happens once a year.
Oh, my goodness.
What animal? Once a year sex for this
Wow.
poor species.
Like a polar bear, maybe? Because like it's kind of... That window doesn't open up too much.
Because it's so cold.
Yeah, I'm going with polar bear.
That kind of makes sense. Yeah, I'll agree. What the hell?
Let's see what we got.
All right. What is the most asked question about sex on Google? What do people Google the most when it comes to sex?
Is it
What's
in?
a normal size of a penis?
Right. Don't worry, it'll be over before
Yeah.
you know it, right? The Googled question? I thought it was just porn, right? Like that's, I don't know if that counts.
No, that doesn't count.
No. It's the most Googled question?
Think about this. I think it'll... If I told you the answer right now, you'd be like, of course. And I'm saying that to you as a man.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it Sally's question of like, is it big enough? That's what I'll... Yeah, what's average, I would say. Yeah, what's the average size?
Average size.
Yeah.
Okay, you're agreeing with that?
Yeah, let's go
Yeah.
with that.
All right.
All right, so I'm going to ask the first question.
Yep.
And
go
this
ahead.
is 2 minutes ahead, so just so you know.
Cool. Okay, cool. Then I'll button bolt.
What year did the first Apple phone come out?
I said 93. Aaron said 2007. Plagano said 99. Jones said 2000. Plagano's saying he's rethinking it. He's thinking it's the 2000s. Russ Labello says 2003. And that's it.
Aaron's right, 2007.
Nice.
June 29, 2007.
Oh, it's almost the anniversary.
Yeah.
Orthopy is the study of what? Orthotics, word pronunciation, computer hardware. Andy Plagano says orthopy. Or orthopy. Okay.
Stop it. Stop trying to say
He's saying it's
that word.
pronunciation. Joan says pronunciation. You guys both said pronunciation. Andrew Fremder, you guys can't even pronounce the word, so I would imagine pronunciation. Yes, you're all correct. It is word pronunciation.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay. Put in order of age from youngest to oldest. The answer, Tony got it. It's George Clooney, 61. John Travolta, 68. Sorry, George Clooney, 61. Tom Hanks is 65. John Travolta, 68.
So Aaron got
That was
it
me.
right.
Okay, we switched
Aaron
around.
got it right.
Oh, okay.
I switched them up. Cool. Okay.
And Pierce is 69.
Okay.
And everybody else got it wrong, including
So,
Andy
so
Pajanos.
far, Aaron's two
I'm
for
three for
for
three.
two.
Yep.
Yeah.
This next one, I'm not even going to bother reading it.
Yeah.
Everybody got
It's
it. It's Ellen. Yeah, keep going.
Why was New York Yankees pitcher David Winfield arrested on April 4th, 1983?
Let me just point out, Andy Pajanos says, Laura Dern is so smoking hot. So, I agree. And then Fremder says, lots of guests come on the Ellen show. All right, so I said Siegel. Aaron said breaking into a stadium. Pajanos said Siegel. Joan Asher says Siegel. Pajanos says it was when he was hitting, he hit the ball into it. Oh, when he hit it, he hit the bird? Oh.
Yeah, I guess got
On April 4th, 1983, David Winfield of the New York Yankees was warming up for another inning against the Toronto Blue Jays when he accidentally struck and killed a seagull with the ball. Later that day, Winfield was actually arrested by Toronto police for cruelty to animals. Needless to say, the charges were dropped when they realized he wasn't trying to do it on purpose.
Okay, well, you get that one.
All right. So when this person appeared on a 2001 episode of Inside the Actor Studio, he made one audience member laugh so hard they developed a hernia and had to be taken away by ambulance at the end of the show. Who are we talking about? Sallie says Robin Williams. Aaron says Richard Pryor. Plajanos also says Robin Williams. Joan Asher says Robin Williams as well. Yes, it is Robin Williams.
Ah, very
Wow.
nice. Okay.
No one's more shocked that I got that right than me. You were right. The jazz, the New Orleans Jazz.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, everybody pretty much got that. Midway through the third season of Chappelle's show, Dave Chappelle went missing. A man who temping as an assistant for the head of development at Comedy Central got the call that Chappelle had disappeared. He told executives who brushed him off at first, but this
Yeah,
time
just give the name.
stressed. Okay, it was it. Well, you both said John Mulaney
Yeah.
because we did talk about him earlier. Andy Plajanos also said John Mulaney. Joan Asher says Don Sell. Yes, John Mulaney.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, when you mentioned him before, I knew I had this question. I'm like, oh,
If we didn't talk about him, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
right. All right, let's get this done.
Youngest American serviceman was 12 years old. Calvin Graham. He lied about his age to enlist in the Navy. His real age wasn't discovered until he was wounded in a battle.
Wow.
Nobody got 12. There's Aaron said 14. I said 13. There's 14s and 15s there. Nobody got it right. Fremder said 10. What year is the first in-flight movie shown on international flight in the U.S.? Sallie said 69. Aaron said 49. Plagano said 49. Fremder says 1869. You're all wrong. It is 1929.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I was surprised about
I just
that, too.
figured, black and white TVs in the 50s. How could you
Right.
get it on a plane?
I think it was an international flight in 1929.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Female animal that only gets excited for a 24 to 72 hour window once a year. It in between February and May. The pandas.
Okay. So it was a
Are you on
And
the
that's
right
why
track?
it's such
Yeah.
a big deal at a zoo. Like, oh my
yeah.
God, is this poor panda getting knocked up this year? Because we can't wait another
There's that
year.
one window. Okay.
Yeah.
Plagano said it was a duck. The most Googled question about sex. You both agreed it was people asking about average size. Andy Plajanos asks, is it supposed to hurt?
Why would you ask that question?
Joan Asher says it's about STDs. Andrew Fremder, how to make her squirt. Actually, Fremder's not too far off. The most asked question on Google about sex is where is the G-spot? in a very close second is How to Make a Woman Orgasm.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I was like, the man. Think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
really nice.
Well, when you said that, I was thinking about the man body.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Not about being
because that's a
being
question us men
thoughtful.
ask a
Yeah.
lot. Where's the G spot we can't find?
That's
Maybe
very
the
thoughtful.
world isn't as horrible a place as
Yes.
we thought.
There you go.
So,
Thanks to people like you who help us with our
there
entrepreneurship.
we go. Did I win the trivia? Because this is going to be the highlight of my week.
You won.
What do I-
There's over there in the
Air
corner.
fresheners.
Oh.
Govs Radio.
I won
air
one of those
fresheners.
last time. I think I just stole it.
Take
though.
2 more. Take 2 more.
Guys, it's been awesome. Thank you
You're
so
the
much.
man.
Hey, thanks everybody who's watching it.
I'll,
Bye,
Great
Sallie.
seeing you.
Definitely take it easy.
Let's all right. So let's talk again. Maybe later this week or something.
I love it.
All right. Cool.
So there's up
There it is.
I'm grabbing another.
Bye.
See you, Aaron.
Thank you. That's so funny. I won one last time. Actually, I just stole it.
Aaron Foss, always a good guy. A pleasure to have him on the show.
Yeah.
So now Andy's saying he was wrong. He just looked up Winfield. Where's all the baseball fans? We got to ask Mark Hirschman.
So he wasn't a pitcher?
He was an outfielder. He was a slugger. The guy could hit home runs.
So did he hit? It said struck.
Well, yeah,
It leads me to believe he threw it.
You said warming up. I think he was in between innings, and he's in the outfield, just throwing a ball around, and he hit the bird.
But I actually
Not warming up like a pitcher.
I did copy and paste it. So why would they say pitcher?
Well, whoever you copied and pasted that from got it wrong.
Stupid.
Yeah. Who did you copy and paste that from?
I don't know. I just find these things on the internet when I'm looking for my G spot.
It's why they would want to give an orgasm. That is the problem.
What?
It's why they want to give an orgasm. That is a problem. I love giving you an orgasm.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Unless I'm misunderstanding what he's saying. Wow.
You do.
I think she just had one. Whoa, yeah. Speaking of baseball,
Okay.
that's one of the things I have on my list to talk about today.
Oh, with
Sep-
me.
Yeah, well, no, you can discuss this. It's not so much a baseball. It's not so much about the sport of baseball. Several players on the Tampa Bay Rays did not wear the LGBTQ logos on their uniforms for the team's Pride Night celebration during this past Sunday's game against the Chicago White Sox. According to the Tampa Bay Times, at least 5 Rays baseball players declined to wear the uniforms, which featured rainbow logos on the caps and jerseys. One of the players addressed the situation on behalf of the players who opted out, telling the Tampa Bay Times that it was just a faith-based decision and that it wasn't judgmental. It's a hard decision, they said, because ultimately, we all said what we want is them to know that all are welcomed and loved here. But when we put it on our bodies, I think a lot of guys decided that it's just a lifestyle that maybe not that they look down on anybody or think differently. It's just that maybe we don't want to encourage it if we believe in Jesus, who's encouraged us to live a lifestyle that would abstain from that behavior. We love these men and women, we care about them, and we want them to feel safe and welcome here. One of the players who did wear it
Became gay after that, so they were worried.
He said his parents taught him how to love everyone as they are. Go live your life, whatever your preferences are. Go be you. Then he said, we just want everyone to feel welcomed and included and cheer us on, no matter what your views on anything are. I'm with that. I don't care. Just pay your money to see me play baseball and cheer me on and love me. The manager of the Rays, Kevin Cash, addressed the situation following the game, saying that some of its players' decision to not wear the logos did not create any divisions in the clubhouse. First and foremost, I think the organization has done a really good thing to have Pride Night supporting our gay community to come out and have a really nice night at the ballpark, he said. Impressed that our players have had those conversations, and we want to support our players that choose to wear or choose not to wear to the best of our capabilities. Thoughts? You don't care?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was all handled fine, right?
And you're from there. They should have changed
Yeah.
the R in the word raise to a G. That would have been hilarious.
That's really funny.
Yes, Beansy, you missed Tuesday Trivia. We did it already. We had Aaron Foss here with us, so we had to do it early.
Yeah.
We did it already. You missed it, so you go back and watch when we're done. Please go back and watch when we're done. Go back and watch the replay over and over. Yeah, that would be really funny if they changed the G.
That is
would
really
be
funny.
The Tampa Bay Gays.
Yeah, you don't have to wear all the rainbow colors, but you have to wear this hat. You get to choose, or you get to try anal sex. Either way.
I don't know. I find it interesting, that the one player who didn't wear it, calling it a lifestyle. Like, I'm surprised he didn't get more of a backlash from
Yeah, right. Like the color of your skin is a lifestyle. It's not a lifestyle.
Yeah, Fremder says, strange coming from a team who plays a sport that involves a bat, balls, and a bag, and handling big, thick wood in their hands.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, ultimately the goal is not even to have, Pride Month, that everyone just feels comfortable in their own skin, and no one's judgmental about anyone doing anything, and everyone just loves each other,
Can't we all just get along?
Can't we all just get along? That's the ultimate goal is that, no one has to wear colors. No one has to do anything because everyone's just feels equal. But we're not there yet. So throw on the hat.
I guess you could say we're further along than we were. I mean, back in the 80s when we were kids, there wouldn't be a Pride Night.
No.
So I guess
there's a in the high schools today, there the
you have a ton of gay
clubs.
Students.
Yeah.
Gay clubs, right.
And kids join the clubs that aren't gay just to be supportive of their friends. But all Kevin and Christian, or Sam and Christian, used to go to the meetings just to show support for their friends, and they weren't gay.
That's what they told you.
So
we're just supporting our friends.
Now everything makes sense.
Yeah, I remember in school there were only 3 guys who were pretty open, but yet actually I can think of 4, and only one out of those 4 admitted it back then. We're now and those 4 are open and out now.
Yeah.
But back then only one of them was, because it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't something you could do back then.
So it is getting better, but
Yeah.
Obviously there's still, Jesus wants me to not be supportive of people. That doesn't make sense, because if you actually ask Jesus would be like, oh, no, my goodness, put on a hat.
Is there? Because a lot of people do tie, if they don't support the LGBTQ community, they usually cite religious reasons.
Yeah,
so
but yeah, but you could point out that you're not allowed to work on weekends, so that one person who takes a weekend job, there's you can't on the Sabbath, you can't work, or drive past sunset, or what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
You don't know what I mean?
No, what are you saying?
There's a lot of things in the Bible that people do all the time,
right,
and they don't cite back to, I can't do that because Jesus says it's wrong. But they do, right. But they always do with homosexuality. That's their ticket to be a dick.
But that's why I brought it up. Is there?
It depends on how you interpret the Bible.
So there's nothing in the Bible that the words aren't actually there.
Gays
you cannot
are bad.
Be gay, right? It's so. What does it say that?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's just you can't. You can't lay with another man or something.
A man
like that.
cannot. A man
it's
shall not lay with another man.
It's something like that. But like I said, everyone who's working on a Saturday night, that's in there too. So, you're picking, people pick and choose in the Bible for what they want to be important in their lives.
Those baseball uniforms are made of material that violates the Bible. says Andy Plajanos.
You're not supposed to eat ham or something. Like there's like all these things that say in the Bible. You're not supposed to do this, and that, but you do it. So as you're not putting on a colorful rainbow hat and you're eating a ham sandwich, you're being a dick.
Yeah. Basically, that's the Bible right there.
Don't be a dick.
You summed up the Bible in 4 words.
Right.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Actually, 5. Do not be a dick.
Yeah.
Do
but you could
not.
trim it. Don't be a dick.
The DNBAD. Instead of we should change the name of the Bible.
Because if you wanna bring the love that Jesus brought us, it's if he were here, he wouldn't be a dick. So
since we are the king and queen of America,
yeah,
we hereby change thy name of the Bible. The DNBAD.
Right. The world would be better.
The trees, the Knockem, holy shit. Fremder says, yeah, they were is open. Yeah, never mind. I'm just reading some of Fremder's comments to myself.
Thank you.
All right. So, do you have anything today?
Oh no, I figured we'd be doing trivia. Let me see. What else do we?
Do you not bring other stuff in?
On Trivia Day?
Yeah.
We barely get out of here on Trivia Day.
Well,
your announcements take 49 minutes.
All right.
And then you'll get distracted and start again, and then it's an hour and a half, and then...
You should be thanking me because you don't bring anything else in.
Well,
and we're 12 minutes shy.
12? What's that word? I want to remember that word. Orthopathy? Orthopathy?
I don't know.
Let me see it now that I could see it without seeing your answers. I want to see what the word is. Orthopy.
Orthiopy. Orthopy. Orthoopy.
Really, it's so weird.
Andy.
Orthopy.
Didn't Andy write it phonetically before?
Orthopy. Orthopy.
Orthoopy. Orthoopy. That sounds like somebody saying or so it be with a lisp. Orthoopy.
Yeah.
Or so it be that our Bible will be called DNBAD. Or so it be. Hear ye, hear ye. Don't be a dick and don't sit on one, says Fremder. And of course, DJ's asking other questions. He wants to know where Joe is. Well, he was watching. Did he leave? All right. All right. So I got one more thing.
Yeah, go.
A London hospital has launched an investigation after a woman whose baby died in the womb had to deliver her son at home due to lack of beds and keep his remains in her refrigerator when the hospital staff said they could not store the baby safely.
But they don't have a morgue at this hospital?
Laura Brody and her partner Lawrence said they were tipped into hell after being sent home by University Hospital Lewisham, I don't know if I'm saying that right either, to await a bed when told their baby no longer had a heartbeat, but no beds were immediately available to give birth. 2 days later, after waking up in severe pain, Brody, who was 4 months into her pregnancy, gave birth in agony on the toilet in their bathroom. And it was then I saw it was a boy. The couple who wanted investigative tests to be carried out at a later time dialed 999, which I guess is their 911. But were told it's not an emergency. Wow, these guys were screwed left and right. They wrapped their baby's remains in a wet cloth, placed them in a Tupperware box, and went to the hospital where they were told to wait in the general waiting room. I was there holding my baby in a Tupperware box crying with 20 or 30 other people in that waiting room. She was eventually taken into a bay and told she would require surgery to remove the placenta. But in the waiting room, hot and stuffy, with the waiting room hot and stuffy and staff refusing to store the remains or even look inside the Tupperware box, they decided as it got to midnight they had no option but to take her partner, for her partner to take their baby's remains home. There was no one at the hospital willing to take charge of our baby. No one seemed to know what was going on. It was almost as though no one wanted to acknowledge it, because if they did, then they would have to deal with the problem. Lawrence took the son's remains home in a taxi and cleared space in their fridge. It was a lonely, surreal moment clearing space in my fridge. The whole experience felt so grotesque.
All right, so let me just get this straight. So it's in England.
Yes.
The woman is miscarrying. She goes to an emergency room, and because she's having a 4-month miscarriage, right?
She went in. No, well, she went to the doctor
because a baby can't live 4 months, so it's not a viable pregnancy.
Right.
4 months.
They were told the baby they couldn't feel a heartbeat, so they thought the baby was gone.
Yeah, so the baby was,
but then they said there's no beds.
So what normally happens, I have to interrupt you because
okay.
So I think what normally happens, like if you're miscarrying and the baby, you miscarried.
Right.
But you still, if it's like that many months, you have to go in and get like a D&C. They have to scrape.
Correct.
Everything out. So that's like an appointment. Like you go in and do that. That's not an emergency. You don't do that in the emergency room. That's like now I need to make an appointment with my obstetrician, and I have to go in and have a D&C to make sure everything's all out of there, so that if I want to have another baby, I don't have an infection or anything. So just to clear things up.
Unless they do it different, but you cannot. We're not gonna have you birth this baby now because there's no beds. So I don't know. Maybe that's how they do it in England. Maybe if they find out you miscarried, maybe they do it right then and there. I'm guessing. I don't know. But that's what they said to her. The baby has no heartbeat, but you can't give birth today because there's no beds. Mm-hmm. 2 days later, she wakes up in severe pain.
Okay.
So she gives birth in the toilet. Oh, she gives birth on the toilet in the bathroom. Andrew Fremner. Giving birth on the toilet must be some shit.
Oh my God, that's bad.
So then they call 999, which I'm assuming is the equivalent of our 911.
Okay.
And they were told this is not an emergency.
Well, because it already came out, right?
So what? Maybe she's bleeding or something. Somebody come check her out.
Yeah.
They wrapped the baby's remains in a wet cloth, placed them in a Tupperware box, then went to the hospital where they were told to wait in the general waiting room.
It's probably that big.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Bojano said when they put the baby in the refrigerator, they should have pickled it. And he said it's delicious.
Well, that's why I'm like, if the baby, I had to make room in my refrigerator for the baby. Like, it's like the size of a salt shaker.
Oh, true.
How much food do you have in there that you have to make room? Maybe they used a big, large Tupperware.
So they're sitting in a waiting room of a hospital holding their baby in a Tupperware box. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so sad for them, but they handled it a little differently than they should have also.
So then when it was time for her to remove the placenta, they refused to store the baby remains. They refused to store the hospital.
Refused to store
the remains.
Well, it's a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for example.
So you're saying they should just sort of dumped it and flushed it and be done?
It's not. It would have never if that baby's heartbeat hadn't stopped, and for some reason they induced labor, it would have never lived as a 4-month-old. Okay.
But she gave birth to a dead baby. Maybe they wanted to bury it or something.
It's a miscarriage, so it's not a. You don't, like, when you miscarry a baby, you don't take the baby with you. They don't have a funeral for it. They don't like. There's actually legal stuff about this. Like Sam was a 25-weeker, so he was, what, 6 months, 1 week, something like that.
Yeah.
If he would have been born 2 weeks earlier and died, I wouldn't have been able to have like a funeral or.
So you're saying these
anything.
people? Yeah. So you're saying it doesn't count as a person. And they should have just
no.
They just should have thrown it out and be done. Fremder says that's why I always carry my mini cooler in the trunk.
Yeah, because you never know.
You never know, and you're just gonna.
If you need to bring
when a baby's gonna come out of you.
It's a baby to you, but to the medical staff, it isn't, because you have to draw the line somewhere. Yeah, how many? I mean, most people have a miscarriage, at least one, and we don't have those jars at home. It's just sad, and then you try to have another baby.
Well, right. I mean, that's what I've.
Everyone does.
Yeah, that's what I've been.
We
to
don't
that
have
twice, right.
miscarriage jars around, so it sounds awful.
That sounds crazy.
But
what's that jar over there? Oh, that's the miscarriage jar. Oh.
You can't be mad at the medical staff because they see you, like you've experienced. Let's say you've experienced one miscarriage in your life, as a couple.
Yeah.
They've gotten calls on 1 million an hour. You know.
Well, yeah, but to not when they're told it's not an emergency, that I disagree with.
Who sits in an emergency room with a Tupperware box for
No,
9
I'm talking
hours?
about when she gave birth. An ambulance should have went there to make sure she was okay. That part, I for them to tell her it's not an emergency, no, I got a problem with that. The rest of it, I'll give you. Sometimes, if you find a baby on the side of the road, they are still fresh enough. I'm gonna miss Andy on Friday.
When did they say it's not an emergency because she was fine?
Yeah, but how do they know she's fine? That's my point.
Yeah. Well, when you miscarry, it's crampy, but you don't need an ambulance.
But how do you know? There was no medical person there with her. Maybe she's bleeding, or maybe.
Well, yeah, she was probably bleeding because she was miscarrying.
Right.
But
so somebody needs to take care of that.
You don't call 911 when you're miscarrying. It's just sad, and you bleed, and then you go make breakfast. I don't know.
Then you go make breakfast.
Make a pot of coffee. If she was in major, but I kind of feel like they were wanting the ambulance to come out for this fetus.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I'm getting.
So if the ambulance is coming out for a fetus, that is a miscarriage. Like, you're not going to call 911 for someone to save this gobbledygoo of a miscarriage. It's sad. There's nothing not sad about this. We've all been through it. It's the most awful thing that changes you emotionally forever. But
I don't know where this came from.
To be mad at like the medical staff that sees this stuff all the time. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. Damn shame those baby back ribs were wasted, says Andy Plajanos. Now that's the way we end our show right there. I don't know what else to say to that.
Don't say anything else. That was perfect.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Is there good times, bad times, or not tonight?
Next Tuesday. He's swapping weeks.
All right. Tonight at 9, Hershey and the Keegs. Do they have a guest? Do we know?
I don't know about a guest.
They have not asked us to set up a Zoom, so I'm assuming there's no guest tonight.
Yeah.
Hershey and the Keegs tonight at 9. Donversations tomorrow night at 7:30. And then I'll be back here Thursday with somebody, because it's not you.
It's not me.
I'll be here Thursday morning at 11 with somebody. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy your Wednesday. And, yeah, we'll see you again. Thanks for hanging with us. And, again, please like and share our shows. Spread the word. We're trying to spread words. Oh, we got some shows coming.
He'd keep talking.
I'm just about finished. We got some new shows coming your way. And we also have some other cool things happening that we'll get to within the coming couple of weeks. Some really cool stuff. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.